is so characteristic of a classic flat top shape. Let's watch. Here we go. Step number 1 to cut a flat top is to taper in the back and sides with a snap-on attachment guide or guard. You could taper it in clip or comb. We're going to use a number 4 guard. It's important to point out that a flat top will not be skinned through the back and sides because the shortness of the back and sides of the haircut are going to be limited by the thickness of your flat topper. At the very thinnest of the tips of the teeth, your flat topper is a little bit thicker than a number 1, an 1/8 of an inch, snap-on attachment guide or guard. So step number 1, in this case with a 4 guard, we're going to knock in the perimeter of a haircut. Remember, it's not a tapered haircut, so we're not arcing out and away when we get to the widest point of the head. And it's not a contour cut or a buzz cut, so we're not going to follow the curve of the head up over the top. We're going to work to the sides of the head, to the flat of the head, and we're going to exit the head, heading straight up and off the head towards the ceiling to cut in the perimeter in flat top step number 1. I've used a 4. I could even go as short as a 3 in step number 1 to get the perimeter tapered in. Step number 1 in how to cut a flat top or flat top was to taper in the perimeter. We did that with a guard. Then we dampened the hair, applied some gel, and blew dry the hair straight up to get it ready to cut the top. Step number 2 is to cut the top. We hold our flat topper from below with our thumb over the top of the handle and our hand and knuckles underneath. Now we're going to come in low here at the forehead. We're going to insert the flat topper and slide it up to the top of the head like that. We're going to work around the clock. We're going to imagine we're looking down from above at our client's head. The nose is 12 o'clock. The occipital bone is 6 o'clock, and the ears are 3 and 9. Think like a clock, think like a wristwatch. We're going to work around the clock. With our clipper, we're going to come in low, and our knuckles, my knuckles on my hand with the flat topper, serve as a clipper guard. When the flat topper gets to top dead center, my knuckles rest on the hand. I will then come in and cut off the hair that extends out beyond the flat topper. Notice I hold that flat topper nice and flat and even with the floor, resting my knuckles against the head for balance, stability, and control. And it's important that I come in until the flat topper is all the way up to top dead center. That was 12 o'clock. Now when I come in at 1 o'clock, a large portion of the flat topper is previously cut hair with a little bit of new hair. When I come in at 2 o'clock, there's even more already cut hair and even less new hair. And I'm going to continue this around the head, always starting low, always coming all the way up to top dead center. If you fail to come all the way up, you're going to cut a corner off. And you'll walk your way around the head from 12 o'clock to 6, and then you'll come back to 12, and you'll work your way out the other side. But by directing those interior layers up to the top, even and flush with the top of the head, and cutting off what extends out beyond the flat topper, you're going to create that top flat shape that is so characteristic of what we're looking for. Step 2 is cut the top around the clock. Step number 1 in cutting our flat top was to taper the perimeter. Step number 2 was that across the top step. Step number 3 is down from above. Same idea, hand underneath. This time we're going to start at the top and we're going to redirect the interior hair down from above, looking for the short guide in the tips of the teeth for the previously tapered section, and we're going to take off any overhang by redirecting the interior hair down from above and taking off some overhang. And notice I tip that handle until the flat topper is very, very vertical. If it's tipped in like this, I'm going to cut off the corner. If it's tipped out too far, I'm going to be over square. Roll it down and square it off. And again, working around the clock, around the head, following the positions of the clock by redirecting that interior hair down from above, the sides of that flat topper pop in nice and strong and bold and square. Step 1 was taper, step 2 was across, step 3 is now down from above, redirecting that interior hair down. And again, my knuckles serve as my guard to balance and stabilize my flat topper as I work through the sides of the head. That is step 3. Step number 4 in cutting our flat top is up from below. And at this point, our flat topper becomes a very large clipper comb. It's clipper over comb, and here we're going to come in and we're just going to be doing extra and final blending. We come in from below, and again, I want that flat topper straight up and down. If I'm tipped in with the round of the head, I'm going to lop off the corner. If I'm out too far, I'm over square. So in this step 4, being a little more over square is not a bad thing. One important flat topper tip: anytime you are cutting on your flat topper around the head, try to work parallel to the teeth, either with the teeth, that'll push some hair up and out and slow and restrict your cutting, or come in as we did at the top of the head against the teeth into the spine. That's going to trap and cut hair more efficiently. What you want to avoid is cutting across the teeth perfectly perpendicular. Cutting across the teeth will cause the clipper to snag on the flat topper. A little bit of it parallel or a slight diagonal is ideal. perpendicular to the teeth is going to catch and snag. So that's going to be step 4, to use your flat topper as the oversized clipper comb. And this is even where a flat topper can be used for shapes other than square flat tops as a really great high performance blending tool. And don't forget, dark hair light combs, one of the reasons the flat topper is a light beige color is for visual contrast, making it easier for you to cut. Step number 5 in our flat top, like any good haircut, line and edge for finish. Switch to a trimming comb and switch to a trimmer. Detail, line and edge up. That lining and edging will be a little more important on this flat top because, as we said earlier, because it's a flat top, the back and sides are going to be a little longer than they would be on something particularly short and particularly military. So line and edge all the way around to knock out your finish. There you go, that's your flat top. A little more contemporary, not your classic 50s military flat top, but the flat topper makes it quick and easy. A powerful, awesome tool for clipper cutters that want to master the vertical and horizontal intersections that make up flat tops. I'm Ivan Zoot, I'm Clipper Guy. ClipperGuy.com is my website for a ton of great stuff. And for the lowest price on flat toppers on the web, go to zoothair.com.